Hi everyone, today I want to show you how to crochet alternating spike stitch. Alternating spike stitch is a really great stitch if you're wanting to produce a piece of crochet that has quite a dense fabric. Because you're working with single crochets and elongated single crochets, you get this really nice dense piece of work. That means that it works well for any project that needs a little bit of extra structure, but it can still work really well for things like blankets and scarves. You would just have to up your hook size slightly to get a little bit more drape in the fabric of the project. The best bit about it is it's reversible, so for any projects that you need to look the same on both sides, this stitch is great because it does not have a right and a wrong side. So without further ado, grab your hook, grab some yarn, and let's get cracking. The pattern multiple for alternating spike stitch is 2 plus 1, which is basically a posh way of saying an odd number of chains. So what you want to do is you want to make a starting chain that is as long as you want your project to be, and you want to chain in multiples of 2 plus 1, or in other words, an odd number. I'm going to make a small sample today, so I'm going to go ahead and chain just 35, but you can chain as many or as little stitches as you want. As always, I'm going to use a hook size one size bigger for my starting chain than I'm going to use for the rest of my project, just to give me a little bit of movement. Once you've worked your starting chain, we have 2 rows as setup rows, and then from then on in it's a 1 row repeat, so it's super easy. So the first row after your foundation chain, you want to start off by popping a single crochet into the second chain from your hook. Remember, this doesn't count, so it's only the stitches that are dangling that you count, so you want to pop it into the second chain from your hook, and you want to just work a single crochet. And for the rest of that first row, you want to pop 1 single crochet into every chain along, all the way to the end. At the end of row 1, you want to chain 1 and turn your work. This chain 1 counts as your first stitch, so you want to ignore the first single crochet that you come to, and into the next single crochet you want to pop a single crochet. Then we're going to work a single crochet spike stitch. So instead of working into the next single crochet as normal, for this setup row you want to work back into the starting chain. Try not to pull this stitch too tight because you want to create a nice spike, so just pull up your loops so they're even, and then finish off your single crochet. Then into the next stitch you want to pop a single crochet, and into the next a spike single crochet back into that starting chain. So we're basically working over 2 rows, and single crochet. And you want to repeat that all the way along your row, working 1 single crochet spike stitch into the starting chain, not into the single crochet below it, and then a single crochet into the single crochet from the row below as normal. The final stitch of row 2 should be a single crochet worked into the top of the very first single crochet that you worked on row 1. Row 3 is our repeat row, so this is the row that we're going to repeat over and over until our project is the size that we want it to be. To chain 1 and turn your work. Skip this first stitch and work a single crochet into the top of the spike stitch from the row below. Into the next stitch you want to work a spike stitch, so you don't want to work into the next single crochet along, you want to work into the single crochet that's below it. Make sure you pull your yarn up high enough, but it is just a single crochet but with a longer yarn pull up. Then a single crochet in the next, a spike stitch into the single crochet from 2 rows below, single crochet in the next, and you repeat that all the way along, working your spike stitches 2 rows below and your single crochet just 1 row below. That's the final spike stitch of the row, and the last stitch should be a single crochet, and you want to work it into the chain 1 turn from the row below. So actually go into the chain. If you struggle you can go into the gap, but it does look neater if you go into the chain itself. And it's that simple. That is your 1 row repeat. If you're confident crocheting, then you can go ahead and you can crochet as many rows as you like, and then just break your yarn and weave in your ends. It's that 1 row repeat over and over. But for those of you who are a little less confident, I'll just go over the row one more time for you. So you want to chain 1 and turn your work. Skip the first single crochet from the row below, and into the spike stitch from the row below, work a single crochet. Work a spike stitch into the single crochet from 2 rows below, and a single crochet into the spike stitch from 1 row below. So it's spike stitch 2 rows below, single crochet 1 row below. Just 2 stitches to remember, it's really easy. Spike stitch 2 rows below, single crochet 1 row below, all the way to the end of your row. Your last 2 stitches should be a spike stitch 2 rows below and a single crochet into the chain 1 turn from the row below, and you repeat that row over and over again until your project is the size that you want it. And that is how you crochet alternating spike stitch. I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, I'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you again for another tutorial soon. Bye!